Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My amendment would effectively fire Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas as Secretary of the Homeland Security for the atrocious job that he is doing with our southern border and our overall security of our nation.
Why does Marjorie Taylor Greene hate Mayorkas so much? I keep watching and I'll tell you why.
Earlier this year, the House of Representatives passed my impeachment articles against Secretary Mayorkas, making him the first cabinet secretary to be impeached since 1876. If the House impeached Secretary Mayorkas, we should certainly not pay him.
So Mayorkas is the head of Homeland Security, and because MAGA is just southern border crazed, and they have just filled their heads with so many more conspiracy theories regarding southern border, great replacement theory. They're coming to take our jobs. They're lazy and they don't want to work, but they also want to take our jobs, border frenzy. Because of that, they absolutely despise Mayorkas. Like, they know exactly who he is. They all start like foaming at the mouth. Because of conspiracies, the conspiracies that, basically we're letting everyone in and just giving them green cards at the border. So my favorite one, I hear this all the time, it's maybe you already know this, they come in, they get the cell phone, some cash cards, and they're just and voting, voter ID, of course. And they're just, let loose in these big liberal cities so that the liberal cities could get destroyed, so that it makes the Democrats look better because the liberal cities are destroyed. I'm just telling you what the conspiracy theory. Don't stop with the logic. Stop it.
Secretary Mayorkas is breaking the law. We are going to impeach Secretary Mayorkas today on this committee. We don't care how long you go on. You can keep taking your 5 minutes and yielding back and forth and going to Goldman. Keep going. We're going to impeach him because he has broken the law.
The last time they impeached a cabinet member, or a cabinet member was impeached, was like 1876 or something. It was a while ago, a cabinet member. The presidents, hey, but not the cabinet members. So, which shocked me though. I had to look it up again. I was like, wait, wouldn't Iran, Contra, like Reagan, like tons of them were like, but I think they were just charged. I gotta look this up again, okay? So I looked it up. No, it's the people got prosecuted for it. You know what? Okay, I'm back. And so basically, Hunter Biden, Mayorkas, similar. I mean, the Hunter Biden thing was just, and they haven't been able to like offer up any proof. With Mayorkas, they think that he's willfully refusing to do his job because, like I said before, great replacement theory, illegals are coming in, we're being invaded, and they're all getting voter ID cards. Because that makes sense. Let's give them a voter ID card, even though they can't vote in elections. Immigrants can't vote in elections. They can't get public assistance. Maybe like there's some like local law in certain areas where they can, but not really. There's a lot of benefits they actually cannot get. And if sometimes they work jobs and they get taxes taken out and they don't get to receive the benefits of those taxes, they pay into the system and they do not get anything out. What don't you know here? But so they're doing it intentionally, and this Elon Musk definitely hasn't helped anything because he's supported this claim and gotten everyone on X to support this. So they think that Mayorkas is part of a conspiracy to, ruin the liberal cities by bringing in immigrants there because it makes liberals look so good.
Like Laken Riley, you're familiar with her, right?
Congressman, our heart breaks.
Are you familiar with Lake and Riley?
I am familiar with the case. And
You should have deported her so that she could be alive today. Her parents would have appreciated that.
On Mayorkas' watch, more than 14,000 pounds of fentanyl was seized in fiscal year 2022 at our southern border. That is an all-time record high.
Why have you permitted 345,000 children to come into this country unaccompanied? Why have you permitted thousands of them to be abused and exploited?
Senator, what we do is we enforce the law. But let me just say this.
But you're not.
It is stunning to me, stunning, to hear you say that the prior administration reunited children with their parents.
Oh, I see.
When
So
in
this
fact-
is their fault?
When in
So
fact,
you're not going to take any responsibility for the indentured servitude and exploitation of children that is happening on your watch. A moment ago, you were crowing about the fact that you treated children so well, and yet we find tens of thousands of children.
Or have you authorized CBP agents to
Early.
release illegal aliens into America without having properly vetted, identified them, or collected at least basic biometric data like fingerprints?
Congressman,
I mean, you got millions coming across.
Congressman, our
Gentleman from Ms. Higgins, allow the secretary to
It's
answer.
my time, Mr. Chairman. If I want to
well-
reclaim my time, I will.
Yeah,
I'm going to move on without an answer. Mr. Chairman, are you
Mr.
asking
Mr.
for me to yield you time?
no, I'm the chair.
Then I'm going to reclaim my
No,
time.
I've spoken to so many people about the southern border. I've listened to politician after politician after politician talk about the southern border. I've spent time on the campaign trail. I had to listen to Carrie Lake talk about this for 2 weeks. Oh my God, I wanted to stab my ears out. Here's the thing that makes no sense. So the fentanyl, right off the bat, you know it, I know it, we all know it, we've all said it repeatedly. All of these drugs are seized at ports of entry. They come into the ports of entry. Law enforcement has straight up said that they know that the cartels, they operate like a business. They know what they're doing. They get white people that present well to bring this stuff over. They don't give it to someone in a backpack and say, run across now. Maybe I'm not saying that's never happened, but the cartels know how to get it popping, or they use drones and have little drop locations. Tons of things like that. Some South American person wearing a backpack, not very profitable, not a good business idea. All right, okay. The second thing they talk about is human trafficking. Human trafficking is a real thing. But they're saying that because we're letting people into the border, in from the border, that human trafficking is up. Human trafficking spikes when we stop letting people into the border, because then you're giving the coyotes, it's a real business for them, versus them coming to the border and going, I turn myself in. So yeah, not that there aren't coyotes and things that going on like that right now for them to get over the border, but that is way worse when you shut things down. The less less you offer a pathway to entry, the more you have the coyotes, the human trafficking, things of that nature. What did I miss? Oh yeah, so the thing is, we don't know who they are. The terrorist thing. So this is a great one. This I know about. This I know. I like this one. So a lot of the people were on. There were some people on a terror watch list. Most of that was actually from Colombia, where these people were members of FARC, and FARC was taken off. It's not designated as a terror group anymore. There's peace. There's unity in that country. However, anyone that was a member of FARC back in the day is considered, is still on the watch lists. So yeah, so a few people came over that were members of FARC, which is no longer designated as a terrorist group. But of course, listening to Republicans, they're just off to the races. love it.
I know you're not trying to zing your colleagues, but it's your colleagues in your party, sir, who torpedoed this, who didn't get the facts right on what you just outlined was in that measure. They killed it. Ironically, not Democrats.
Right. It was, and it was painful to be able to watch it. It got stirred up in all the presidential politics, and several of my colleagues started looking for ways after President Trump said, don't fix anything.
That's on Donald Trump, Senator.
That, again, he's got an office that he's running for.
Now, here's the best part. So there was bipartisan legislation. Lankford was one of the authors of this bill. And if you don't know Lankford, he is a senator, far-right, Baptist minister, supported Trump's election fraud claims. I mean, there's nothing not MAGA about the dude, all right? And he, co-authored this with, people like Sinema, people, Chuck Schumer. Like, these aren't, big woke, members of the squad here. So they came up with a bill that was aimed to create an infrastructure around, immigration. And because that's what we're missing, infrastructure, right? I mean, I don't know, do you like seeing these kids put in cages? Do you want them like kenneled when they come over here? I don't find those images appealing or that appealing. So that was good. That was good. And then Trump said, hey, if you guys solve this, I have nothing to run on. So Republicans just did an about face. Lankford was actually pissed, which is funny to watch him be pissed about it. Because I was like, huh. And so he went on and he raised hell about it. But yeah, that was the thing. They refuse to have any legislation, and they know that this is a great talking point, and this gets people riled up. And if a lot of people, if you're like not in MAGA spaces a lot, you don't see your family that often, that you would know. I talk to MAGA like a lot, and this is like a front of mind issue. Is probably the most important issue. Actually, yeah, rarely have I talked to someone MAGA this is not their biggest issue. If it's not their first, it's their second. So boom, that is Lankford. That was the guy I was telling you about, Lankford. And he basically repeating everything I just said about the bill, how the bill was, bipartisan. They came together on it, and and they killed it because they want to take office and they want this problem to keep persisting. Now, I said this before, I'm going to say it again. Lankford is MAGA. He supported Trump's claims of, the election fraud nonsense, all right? He's a Baptist minister. He's an awful person. He's an awful person. However, he actually was committed to getting this problem solved and was like, hey, border problem thing. Personally, there should be infrastructure to deal with all of this. I mean, and so here's the other thing. Sending these migrants up to blue cities where there's no infrastructure to deal with it is an issue. You don't hear a lot about the places that they are sent that have infrastructure. There's plenty of states that have built infrastructure to deal with this. And it's not, the dire situation of sending them to New York City where they can be homeless or where they can, sit around, not work, and have all sorts of major issues. And not to mention dealing with, bigots that don't want them here and all that stuff. So there's a lot that they are doing as subterfuge to destroy and make it seem like the big bad liberals are ruining this country because illegals and immigrants and critical race theory. If this is a problem, it's a problem because they want it to stay that way so they can take power because Project 2025, let's take this country back. Freedom, liberty, God, country, family. Why aren't we a theocracy?